Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and this week I'm going to be taking a look at a movie that's a little different than my usual stuff. This is a movie that I'm going to just straight at the beginning of the film tell you I highly recommend you find this, hunt it down, however you can find it. It's not a movie that I knew anything about. I hadn't heard about it. I just ran across it at a used DVD store today and picked it up, came home, watched it. I loved it. And I want to share it with you. This review may ramble a little bit because there's a lot of things that I want to cover, but I'll try not to go too long. I don't want to spoil the actual experience of this because it's a documentary full of interviews, and this is it. It's called the Sci-Fi Boys. And like I said, I'd never heard of this. I saw this on the shelf and I picked it up and I'm like, the Sci-Fi Boys, and I thought it was something like, you know, the movie Fanboys or something like that. But actually, it's a documentary about some of the most influential people in the science fiction and horror genre, filmmakers. And it has interviews with people like Peter Jackson, Ray Harryhausen, Ray Bradbury, Forrest J. Ackerman, Roger Corman, John Landis, Dennis Murin, Rick Baker, Leonard Maltin, Stephen Summers, Steve Johnson, Paul Davids, Bob Burns, and some other guys. And you'll even see some interview footage from George Lucas and Steven Spielberg on this. And what this consists of is basically people talking about how they got inspired to be in the science fiction business. And a couple of names keep coming up throughout the entire movie. Is Forrest J. Ackerman, the guy that founded and edited and produced the magazine Famous Monsters of Filmland for many years. Ray Harryhausen, the stop-motion animator, and the 1933 King Kong. All of these were incredibly influential to most of the people who are interviewed in this film. And you get to see some of these people's early 8mm film work, like that they did when they first started out as kids with a Super 8 camera, shooting around their neighborhood, making monster movies with their friends. You get to see some of that. You get to hear their perspective on things like special effects now and how digital effects like CGI and whatnot, replacing practical effects, how that affects, no pun intended, how that affects people's perceptions of what's on screen, and how it's made and how that can either ruin the experience or enhance the experience for you. There are clips from a myriad of different films in this documentary. There are clips from things as obscure as The Giant Claw and Invasion of the Saucermen. There's trailers for Destination Moon, When Worlds Collide. Of course, some of the classics like the 1933 King Kong, 93's Jurassic Park, all sorts of stuff. I mean, this is just chock full of interesting bits of information that if you're even the slightest bit interested in science fiction, I would highly recommend seeking this film out and watching it. Just hearing these guys talk about the community that was formed around Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine and how they all came in contact with each other, well, not all of them, but quite a few of them came in contact with each other as a result of this magazine, and the incredible influence that Forrest J. Ackerman had on the young generation of what they termed sci-fi boys in the 1950s and 60s and up through the 70s. And I read the magazine, in the late 70s, early 80s, and just loved it to death. It's just really an interesting movie to watch and just kind of take it all in and see what inspired these guys and what lit the fires of creativity for them. I highly recommend seeing this. There's a ton of bonus material on this. Now, I just watched the feature film because I just got it today, but scanning through the bonus materials, I don't know if it's listed on the back. It doesn't say individually, it just says over an hour of bonus features. But there's additional scenes, interviews, kids' monster movies, photo and document gallery, and other rare sci-fi treasures. I was looking through it, and there's basically a lot of the amateur films that some of these guys made when they were kids, additional footage of that stuff that's not in the actual film, and some interviews, especially with Forrest J. Ackerman, a tour of the Acker Mansion, I think from 1985, which of course was his 17-room house with 3 garages that was just chock full of all sorts of props and collectibles and movie memorabilia from way back when. And it's just incredible to hear all these guys talking. And I know I'm probably saying that over and over again, but if you're the slightest bit interested in science fiction and how we got to where we are, and or you're interested in hearing the opinions of some of these guys about each other and the things that got them going and made them want to either become a director or become a writer or become a special effects person, I highly recommend the Sci-Fi Boys. Like I said, it's not very popular. It may be hard to find. I don't know if it's available online. I don't know if it's still in print. I had never heard of it before today. Picked it up on a whim and just thought I'd share it with you guys. So if you find it, grab it, buy it. But that's all I can tell you. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks to everybody who subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Got more videos on the way, and thanks again. See ya.